Hi everyone, Holly here. I work for Highland Genetics. Some of you may not know me personally, but you may have seen my work. I am the gal who takes the sale photos for Highland Genetics, amongst many other things. But today we are going to talk about how to take sale photos and how you can really just up your marketing game by taking better pictures of your cattle. Um, because the reality is, in this day and age of online sales and just really online marketing at its peak, a good picture versus an average one can really be the difference between thousands of dollars. So let's get started. Now, I originally recorded this while I was here at Josh's, and I was just talking, but it was kind of hot that day. I was in a little bit of a rush. I thought I was talking too fast. So now we can really just break this down properly. So what Josh has already done with this heifer is that he has set her up in a show position. Um, and what I mean by that is her two front legs are just about square. There's a little bit of a distance between the leg closest to us and the leg furthest away from us. That tends to look best for pictures. What's really important is that the front leg that's closest to the camera is straight, because if they're kind of leaning in or leaning out, that really kind of distorts the animal and it really doesn't make the animal look very nice. Another thing that we're also going to be looking at is that her back feet are not square. The outside leg that is furthest away from the camera is a little closer under her body than it would be her back right leg that's sticking out a little ways. And that really just gives you a good idea of the angulation of the hocks and the fetlocks. And you want to be a little bit careful about how far apart those legs are, because that can really change the view of, just how angled the hocks are. It can make them look sickle hawked if you go a little too far. And really, you want them to look as natural as possible. That's the idea here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do as, the person, taking the picture of this animal, if I were going to do that, is I'm going to find what I call the center mass of the animal. So I'm going to position myself, right in this heifer's ribs, right? I want the lens of my camera looking right at her ribs. And really, why you want to do that is it gives you the most accurate depiction of the animal. As you can tell, I just moved a little bit more towards her hindquarters, and that made her hindquarters look larger and her shoulder and her head look smaller. And then I'm gonna move back the other way and show you, when you take pictures a little closer to the shoulder, it's gonna make the head and shoulders look bigger and the butt look smaller. So you really want to find that center mass horizontally throughout the ribs, so everything looks proportional, I suppose. And now that I'm moving back to the ribs and I'm finding that center mass, we're going to talk about your vertical alignment with animals. Now, if you take pictures and you found your center mass in the ribs and you point the camera lens towards the cow from an upward angle, like you are above the animal, it's going to make the animal look smaller, versus if you were to go down onto the ground, it's going to make the animal look bigger. Again, I like to kind of just draw an X between this animal's center mass, find it, and take the picture there. As another thing to note in this video, that now that she left her position, there she went back into it, is that Josh is holding her head up. Now, it's not an unnatural amount. This heifer is, to be honest, she's being a little bit lazy, and she's kind of like tilting at the pole, which isn't the best thing you want them to do, but it's not the worst thing either. Another thing that is super helpful is you would really want her ears forward. That tends to make a really nice, clean photo. Another thing to consider when you're taking pictures is your background. This heifer is on nice green grass. The background is not busy. It's just, a driveway and some trees. That's really the most ideal place to take pictures. You can tell in a couple spots in this video, you can kind of see Josh's garage in the background. It's not the worst thing in the world if the garage is in the background, but ideally you want everything to be really uniform and just less busy, because you really just want the focus to be on the animal. So now I was just kind of showing that very shakily in this video as I was yapping. But yeah, so that is usually just my basics for taking videos, or taking videos and for taking pictures. Another thing is that I am taking all of this on my camera. Now, not everybody has a camera, that's totally understandable. So if you're going to be taking your still photos off of your phone, be sure to hold your phone sideways or in the landscape position, and do not hold it vertically. Most formats for these sales really need that landscape position for, just sizing and making the photos and the videos look correct. Or they're just going to have to crop things to make it correct, and then that can really change things and distort things and just not look as nice. So be sure, if you take photos with your phone, hold it sideways. And that should be it. Thank you guys for watching, and I really hope this helps someone in the future. We'll see you later.